We're here to talk about Medal of Honor Warfighter, and you're watching Connected Digital World.
We recently got to play some Medal of Honor Warfighter, both single player and multiplayer. We also got to talk to Ben Jones, who's a senior designer on Medal of Honor Warfighter, and this is the interview with some gameplay footage. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm Ben Jones, senior designer on Medal of Honor Warfighter, and on this project specifically I've been focusing on level design.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the new game.
Well, Medal of Honor Warfighter is all new. For those of you who've played since 2010, we've changed quite a few things. One of the biggest you're going to notice right away is that it's powered by Frostbite 2. That's a massive difference for us. That combined with the fact that this game was built in-house by one team, Danger Close, for the first time. So we moved away from that in 2010 where we worked closely with DICE to build the multiplayer. This time around we're doing everything in-house, so we're fully integrated between SP and MP, which means a lot of crossover of features, but it also means that our process is really streamlined and we can focus on integrating some really, really cool fun stuff. So a couple of those things we can talk about, one of which is the biggest for MP is obviously fire teams. You and your buddy, or whoever you're choosing, your friend, or someone else that just pops into the game, are formed into a fire team of 2. And this team of 2, is paired up on another team. You guys are basically a host of fire teams are trying to become the best of every match. So even though, depending on the game mode, you might have a shared objective with other fire teams, your goal is to become the best. Another, for sure, is all the different nations that we're supporting. Warfighter actually comes with support for 10 different nations at the start, so you can be one of many different Tier 1 operatives. So, like for myself, I grew up dreaming of being a Navy SEAL, right? And even though that's never going to happen, that was my American dream. But other countries don't dream the same way. They dream of being in the SCS or the KSK. So we wanted to honor that, especially because in our conversations with over 24 Tier 1 operators while making the game, what came out is that they work with all these other operatives on a routine basis, and the amount of respect they have for them is really large. So we wanted to honor that, bring that into the game, allow you to choose your nation first and foremost, determine who you want to fight for, and play it out that way. So those are 2 of the biggest improvements we had. Also a fantastic single-player campaign, definitely expanded from 2010 in terms of scope. Really interesting storyline there, focusing around the global hunt for PETN, really, really dangerous, explosive, real-world stuff. Pretty scary, so good focus there. But yeah, I think we've got a lot to offer this year.
Right, so you say you've worked with quite a lot of Tier 1 operators. Tell us how that works.
So yeah, we consulted with over 24 Tier 1 operators from a number of nations, many of which are represented within the game itself. And the reason for that is we really wanted to get the most authentic experience possible for this time around in Mo. Take it out of Afghanistan and focusing on U.S. troops, and for the first time in Mo's history, really make it an international game. So we've done that. We think it kind of went a hand from FIFA a little bit in looking at, okay, well, we have all these different nations vying to prove that they're the best. So that was a big focus for us as well. But the Tier 1 guys, it's been a fantastic experience for me personally, having an opportunity to work with them on a day in, day out basis and kick ideas off them and show them our work in progress and try to make it as authentic as possible has been a real joy, and I think it shows in the product. We've got something really solid.
So how has their input changed what you guys have developed? Did you come up with something, show them it and say, how realistic is this? And they've gone, no, that would never happen, or actually change it like this?
So it's a bit of both. I think if you look at our feature set, our initial consultations with them actually they bred a lot of the features that we have. So the idea of blue on blue in multiplayer and all these different these Tier 1 warfighters battling it out against each other like they do, on a yearly basis. They'll get together in competitions and try to see who's the best. We wanted to replicate that, and of course also the idea of fire teams and the proximity that these guys have with one another. The sense of knowing where your buddy is at any given time and knowing what he's going through or if he needs help. We implemented a number of gameplay features to try to replicate that sense. So, not only those two at the forefront, but also as we got into development of the game, as you said, conversations with these guys, putting ideas in front of them, trying to validate them, and then adjusting to try to make the most authentic experience possible.
So obviously the game is inspired by real-world events. How much of that is inspired and how much of it is obviously artistic license?
Well, it's bits and pieces here and there. I think, especially for single player, you look at the fact that the storyline was written by Tier 1 operators while they were abroad all across the world. Obviously, that makes it about as authentic as it gets. So there's interesting variation there. There's in SP, there are some missions that actually took place. There's others that were scheduled and then scrapped at the last minute that we wanted to give players an opportunity to play, and ones that are also based on different events cobbled together to create a really interesting gameplay experiences. So for the most part, yeah, they're truly authentic and a lot of fun.
Early on in the game, there's a section where Preacher has to chase somebody in a car. Tell us a little bit about that, because you guys worked obviously with the Need for Speed team.
Yeah, that was a fantastic experience, and again, that idea came out of consultation with the Tier 1 guys, and a lot of times they're in vehicles and they're just observing, trying to find somebody in the field or tailing them, trying to get more intel. So we wanted to integrate that into the gameplay experience for sure. And the best way to do that, obviously, is consult with EA's experts in the field. And the Need for Speed team gave us a lot in terms of that level. Driving and just a very, very polished experience. You played it for yourself today. It feels very tight, and the collisions and moving through traffic and people scattering all around you. It really is a fantastic gameplay experience, to be sure.
Excellent. And will there be DLC? Have you announced anything yet?
So we have announced one thing. That's the Zero Dark 30 pack. That's going to come out December 17th of this year. And that pack is actually tied in with the film Zero Dark 30 that's directed by Catherine Bigelow. She won an Oscar for Hurt Locker. Yep. That was a really cool opportunity for us. And it also ties in with the Project Honor campaign, which we've been promoting for the last couple of months, trying to build up an endowment for different foundations that serve the special forces and military communities and their families. And that commitment is at least of $1 million. So every download that you get, $1 going towards that fund as well, helping people out. But really cool content, 2 new maps taking place, and it's basically all about the hunt for Bin Laden, going to the different places where we thought he might have been.
So will you actually get to go in the compound?
So you don't get to actually go into the compound, but there are a lot of elements that are very similar, and it's also 2 areas that he was thought to be at different times, and they're crazy hotspots, and so you're going to get a really cool gameplay variation with those. Really nice visual change as well, and I think the best part is if you pre-order the limited edition with that pack, you're going to get it for free. So, good way to go.
And so when does the game out?
Well, in EU, it's going to come out October 26th, and it'll be out on the 23rd in the US. We can't wait to get it out there. It's going to be really fun.
And what platforms will it be on for that?
It'll support PC, Xbox 360, and PS3.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Call placement, Atlas.
Atlas requesting fire mission. Over.
Roger, Atlas. Hang it!